The view from above. Urianger is wearing a pensive face, or pensive look. Ah, but prematurely do I give myself to sentimental musings. Many more pressing concerns demand our attention, not the least of which is the matter of how we might reach the mountain, detached from the land as it is. For the present, 'twould appear we have matters here well in hand. Perhaps thou shalt take thine ease for a time. Thou wilt need every ounce of thy strength for the trials ahead. Oh, okay. Literally wait for the work to be completed. Okay. Thy zeal is commendable, my friend, but rest assured we shall not want for hands. Pray, take thine ease in preparation for the trials ahead. And I think this triggers a cutscene with Emmett, if I remember correctly.
Would you look at that? The citizens of Yulemore engaging in what can only be described as manual labor. Who would have thought it possible? Do you know the most reliable way to deal with those who stubbornly refuse to see reason? You conquer them, crush them under heel. Such was the trusted method of Alec, and one still favored by Garlemald. But conquest is the easy part. The true challenge begins once the dust has settled, quenching the glowing embers of animosity and maintaining a semblance of peace. This requires the conqueror to treat the conquered with dignity, and the conquered to let bygones be bygones, a difficult feat to achieve. But you have achieved just that, to my considerable surprise. It's a compliment. Take it. Ah, the vibrant energy that fills the air when like-minded souls gather. To think back on that time before time, fair brings a tear to the eye. What? You thought ancient beings like us incapable of crying? Well, rest assured that if your heart can be broken, then so can mine. Back when the world was whole, we had family, friends, loves. Men knew peace and contentment, and with our adamant souls, we could live for an age. There was no conflict born of want or disparity. Our differences paled into insignificance next to all we had in common. And then there was Amaroth. Never was a city more magnificent.
So true.
From the humblest streets to the highest spires, she fairly gleamed. Not that you would remember any of this.
Yeah, remember. Because he doesn't know. I know he doesn't know. Because he even makes a comment later. Is this story going anywhere? I'll go with the first. Because that's actually what I was thinking.
Never mind. The point is, the world of old was a far better place than what we have now. I believe you would like it, having witnessed the things you have. Remember, you are of the Source. Unlike the half-men here, you stand only to gain. Should you survive the remaining calamities, you will become our equal, a complete existence in a complete world. But such talk is a pleasure for later. Back to work, hero. Ah, there was one thing I had meant to ask. How well do you know the Exarch? Has he ever deigned to show you what hides beneath the cowl? What? Never? Even to you? How very interesting. I shall enjoy working out what it means. Until next time.
That wave every time.
Oh, I knew you could do it, dearest. I never doubted you for a moment.
It's alive. I don't know if you remember, but when we first met in this world, I was all but spent. I never thought to wonder why until now. I think it all just got to be too much. The guilt of causing the flood. Knowing everyone hated me. But the worst thing was the solitude. Time wears you down, aye. But solitude eats away at you. It was this close to finishing me off. But as bad as it got, and as empty as I felt, I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like for Emmett Selk. All of which is a long way of saying, don't make a choice that leaves you alone. Nothing is worth that. Especially not eternity.
Glad tidings, my friend. The ladder lives again.
The three of us have been invited to do the honors. Are you up for it? Of course, if you're worried that the whole thing might come crashing down, we can always find someone else. That's the spirit. Come on then.
We rode the ladder too, my comrades and I. Once upon a time. Watched the horizon grow, and the town shrink below us. Awed and terrified in equal measure, we ascended without a word, the silence broken only by the rhythm of the gears. No one but me remembers that day. Remembers our journey and our end. Retread the path. Seek, and you may yet find.
Yeah, Emmett Selk is such an interesting character. I mean, from what we've seen so far, he seems to legitimately be trying to convince us, you know, of his way or his goals. And I noted, you know, him talking about Amarot and then mentioning, like, I think you would like it if you saw it or whatever. And that made me think, okay, that's probably why. Well, I don't know if it was already created. Like, it's like that illusory Amarot is already there at the bottom of the ocean, or if he creates it, like if he's doing that now as another means to try to convince us. But this is what it made me think of. And his whole remember thing, the only thing I can think of is he's talking about, oh, well, because you're like a shattered person, you're not whole, you wouldn't remember that. And not that, you know, oh, you're one of the convocation, but just shattered or whatever. See, he doesn't know that. He doesn't realize that until the end, from what I recall. And here we finally are, at top rung. The others should arrive ere long. Alphino, Lavenza, come up here. There's something I need you to see. What could this be about? Okay, yeah, they're... Oh, okay, yeah. Look, I'm flying above it, but I'm still confused as to how it works. That appears to be a village. There's a village, Lavenza, over to the northeast. So there is. Yet after 2 decades without the ladder in operation, I would not be surprised if such an isolated settlement had long since been abandoned. Nor I. But that was before I spied someone leave it and proceed to head in our direction, all the while trying to remain unseen. Whoever this mysterious person is, they should still be out there. Go on and take a look, Lavenza. Search your surroundings for the mysterious person and then directions. Or instructions. For an activity we've done more than a few times. Oh. Oh no, that's the shoe bill. The creature stares at you unflinchingly. This probably isn't the mysterious personalities they saw. But a terrifying individual nonetheless. Oh, there we go. And that's the original artist, right? You have located the mysterious person. However, it seems he has likewise spotted you and hurriedly turns back to the village. There's someone, right? And they were spying on us. Personally, I don't feel comfortable not knowing who they are. What do you say we investigate? I'm curious too, I must admit, and I dare say we have a bit of time ere the others ascend. It's settled then. Let's head to the village and see if it's indeed inhabited. Just seeing if Alphino and Alisaie happen to be like along the way, or they're just at the destination. Dried victuals. Food has been hung out to dry in the sun, and quite recently by your reckoning. The crates and barrels are laden with unknown contents. I could have sworn I heard a noise. You hear faint sounds from inside the building. However, the door refuses to budge. The cups are half empty, or half full, depending on how you see such things. Behind the counter, a kettle bubbles steadily over the stove. What news, Lavenza? Were you able to find anything of note? People are definitely still living here. I couldn't find our mysterious person. Maybe this place really is abandoned. Okay, I'll go with the first one. Indeed. Well, there's no one to be seen. 'Tis plain that this village is anything but abandoned. If the villagers are trying to conceal themselves, they are doing a rather poor job of it. But if they don't wish to be seen, what are we to do? I say, aren't you the ones who saved my life? You're Tristal, the artist from Yulemoor. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't remember his name at all. You remembered. Ever since we parted ways, I worried for you, bound for the city as you were. Never did I imagine that we would meet again, and here of all places. We could say the very same thing to you, my friend. I'm glad to see you hale and whole, but tell me, what is this village? This is Amity, a settlement made up of those who survived being exiled from Yulemoor. As I wandered the wilds, I chanced to cross paths with an inhabitant of these parts. He took me through a secret tunnel which led to the top of the Bright Cliff. I've been here ever since. Life is hard, but we know a semblance of peace. That's interesting because I don't, at least to my recollection, there's no actual physical tunnel that we can travel through, though. Which would have been pretty crazy if there was like this little hidden tunnel somewhere. And it's like we could have gone up there the whole time, but you just don't know about it. It makes sense and would kind of play into the realism, I guess, of everything. But Well, we did at any rate, until Mount Gold broke away from the earth. Then just as sudden, the ladder started moving again. And you feared whoever was coming up would threaten your lives. Aye, but I see now there's no cause for concern. Will you tell me what has brought you here? So Vothri is a sin eater, and he's fled to Mount Gold. 'Tis a strange tale, but I have no reason to doubt your words. I owe you my life. If there is anything I can do to help, you need but say the word. Your help would be most welcome, Tristel. To begin with, we request your people's permission to reconnoiter the area. If we are to confront Vothri, we must find a way to reach Mount Golg. Of course, you hardly need our permission to be here. I will tell the others about you and yours. Now, we haven't much to offer you in the way of hospitality, but our village is at your disposal. Please use it as you see fit in your quest. I'm pleased to see that the villagers are no longer wary of us. I shall take the opportunity to ask about Mount Golg. More so than the revelation that Vothri is a sin eater, I'm surprised that the free citizens of Yulmore came together to work on the ladder. Is it possible for people to change so quickly? Yeah, I wonder if it is just for the sake of cooperation that they got together, or if maybe a bit of it is Vothri losing, like leaving and thusly losing a bit of his control over the people. You know, maybe there was something about the meal and everything that played into their, what is it, indolence is the word? In Mount Gold's shadow, Alize is eager to get on with the task. Yet another hapless soul that Alphino saved from mortal danger, I see. Some things never change. At any rate, it seems that brother has a mind to linger. Meanwhile, I have a mind for us to explore. Lavenza and I are going to scout out the area. We'll be back in a while. Oh? Very well then. Just take care out there. Take care out there. If you sense even the slightest danger, pray turn back at once. More so than the... Oh, okay. He just says the same thing. It is quite the spectacle. Although, I mean, it gets even more, well, spectacular, I guess would be the apt word, once the giant Talos is there. The path diverges. Let's split up so we can cover more ground. I'll go east if you would be so kind as to head west. We can aim to meet at the foot of the mountain, taking note of what we see along the way. In a short while, then. And is this where we meet up with the dwarves? It would make sense. We're kind of moving in that direction. Oh, now we're splitting off and going into another direction. Yeah, didn't take the detour into the dwarf village.
You're a sight for sore eyes. I don't know about you, but I bumped into quite a few sin eaters out there. You too, then. It seems the closer we get to Mount Gulg, the more of them there are. Looks a lot bigger from here, doesn't it? If I were Vorthri, the first thing I'd do is surround myself with as many sin eaters as I could lay my hands on. And judging by the number we've already faced, his lordship is of the same mind. This is going to be a tough climb. But first things first. We need to determine if climbing is even an option. The more I look, the less likely it seems.
Well, I mean, the giant space in between.
Ishtola is right to be worried. But flying may be our only choice after all.
I mean, the space between the ground and the mountain is enough to say we're not climbing it.
There you are. Master Alphino was afeard you had met with some misfortune.
Ah.
Urianger. And you too, Exarch. What brings you here?
I wish to observe the final struggle with my own eyes. I arrived at Bottom Rung too late to accompany you, but I was in time to join Urianger and the others. Come, let us see how this unfolds.
A lot of sin eaters.
Well, it seems flying is off the table.
If we have learned that much, then the Machina have served their purpose.
Ah, so that's what they were for. Wasteful, but effective.
It would seem our foe will not be reached by land or air. We must needs withdraw to consider another course. Master Alphino waiteth for us at Top Rung. Thither should we make our way.
Yeah, it's funny, I've mentioned multiple times now how... What's the word I'm looking for? I have no idea how long it takes to get from one story point to another, partly because of time, but also I was doing all the side quests the first time through. So to me, like, there are areas of the story and stuff that, like, I remember being really long. And then I've done them, and it's like, oh, wow, it's actually pretty quick. And this one, I think, is kind of turning into one of those. But I still don't know how long it is until we open up Mount Gold. Oh, don't mind us. We're just taking in the sights. I know there's a whole, like, what's the word? Like, motivation minigame or whatever with China's. Ah, such an exhilarating ride and such a magnificent view. Nothing in Yulmore compares to this. Soon after you left, who should arrive in Amity but Urianger and the Exarch? I'm glad they were able to find you. Forgive us our delay. The Exarch arrived and we took some time to apprise him of our mission. Thus are we all gathered, though Reen, I am afeard, did not much enjoy the ascent. Concerned for my health, are you? Indeed, we are a little far from the Crystarium, but rest assured this old man can muster up another wind for what is to come. All that grinding and shaking, I was afraid the lift floor would fall out from underneath me. Oh. Like, I clicked it and it hesitated. And so I clicked again, and but don't worry, I'm sure the trembling will go away soon. I'm told you went ahead to scout out the volcano. I don't suppose some grappling hooks will suffice? I mean, maybe if the, you know, if the rope on them is really long. I didn't expect to see the Chais here, though I suppose it's well within their rights. At any rate, it's time to tackle our next little obstacle, finding a way to reach Mount Gold. For this, we'll need to put all our heads together. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream was the penultimate in story for me. We finished up with Vothri and Innocence and the subsequent cutscene, and obviously next will be Tempest and Amarat, and that's just my favorite part of the story. I know a lot of people are really into 5.3. We'll have to see how I like it as I get into that. But to me, I think just the ending with Emmett struck me the most. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that. But tonight's story was still excellent, and it's only going to get better from here. So if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to come join me live, the link to my Twitch is down below. As I said in the last batch of outros, by the time you see this, I will have finished up with the Final Fantasy story and we'll be on to something else. I'm thinking WoW, kind of see what all the fuss is about. But if not that, it'll be something, maybe more Final Fantasy stuff. There's a bunch of other stuff I'd like to get done. Some kind of end game-ish type of stuff. But either way, it should be fun. So again, if you want to join me, link is down below. So anyway, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a good one.